Mummy brown was made from human remains, embalmed bodies, dried, ground, mixed with oil. The result was a soft, transparent brown, perfect for shadows, perfect for skin tones, perfect for making things feel alive. Which is technically true, considering there's literally someone in there. For centuries, the human cadaver was a legal business. Not as art, not as relics, but as material. Powdered human tissue was used as medicine, as pigment, as commodity. Basically, if you had a problem, the solution was usually eat a dead Egyptian. To modernize, the idea sounds insane, but people didn't consume mummies as a joke. For centuries, Europeans believed that mummified bodies contained healing power. Part of this came from a misunderstanding. The word mumia originally referred to a medicinal bitumen, not a human body. Over time, that meaning shifted, and preserved Egyptian bodies became the substitute. Mummy powder was prescribed for pain, bleeding, and illness. It was sold by apothecaries, recommended by doctors. This wasn't fringe medicine. It was normal practice for hundreds of years. And once human bodies were accepted as medicine, turning them into paint didn't feel like a big step. Now, mummy brown didn't absolutely involve Egyptian mummies every time. At a certain point, the demand was so high that they started to use other type of preserved bodies, such as animals and criminals. An artist even used the preserved heart of a king. When Louis XIV died in 1715, his body followed royal tradition. The heart was removed, preserved, and stored separately. Enter the revolution. Churches are looted, relics are sold. Royal remains are scattered like second-hand merch. Then, in the early 19th century, the artist Alexandre Paul de Saint-Martin is said to have acquired preserved royal hearts from a person that stole them during the French Revolution. According to historical accounts and modern analysis, part of the preserved heart of Louis XIV was reduced into pigment and can be found into this paint. Vue de Caen. Look closely at these shadows. Yeah, that's mummy brown. Scientific examination of its brown pigments detected human proteins, consistent with preserved heart tissue. This doesn't tell us why the material was used, only that it was. A king, reduced to a shade of brown to paint a landscape in Normandy. The ultimate recycling. Mummy brown didn't disappear because it was a bad pigment. Artists liked it. And for a long time, many painters didn't fully understand what it actually was. Mumia was a vague term. If you watched my first video, I talked about Edward Burne-Jones and a few other artists burying their tubes of mummy brown like a small funeral. There was no ban, no law, no official announcement. By the late 19th century, chemistry offered better options. It's more ethical. It's safer. We don't grind up our ancestors to finish a portrait anymore.